We are anchored here next to Utqiagvik, the northernmost point of the United States. We are waiting for the ice to disperse on our intended route towards Greenland, and this mom and her two cubs swim in regularly from the large ice floes nearby. That's the lower jawbone. Our shore walks, on the other hand, are very limited and cautious, and so we spend some downtime running a few safety drills.
Ollaan turvallisuuskoulutuksessa.
Okei, meillä on Zorro hostina.
Ketä?
Turvallisuuspäällikkö.
Turvallisuuspäällikkö Zeta, eli S.
Täällä on näitä, jos menee jonkun jalka tai joku. Kaikenlaisia sidetarpeita on täällä aika paljon. Täällä on kaikkea semmosia yleislääkeasioita, on vaikka just toi kiristysside. Täällä on kaikki reseptilääkkeet. Ja tässä on niinku lista, että mitä kaikkea on. Ja sitten tässä lukee aina, että mihin tarkoitukseen se on.
Vaikka jos käärmät puree kuidoa tuolla, niin siellä löytyy lääkkeitä.
Arktinen käärme, paha.
Oh. Kalkkarokäärmä vissiin.
Mutta mitä jos jääkärpä puree?
No se on kyllä ihan.
Tästä niinku näkee pohjalle tai mereen. No tässä on ne 2 kaikuluotainta, mut niissä on se tuplahomma, että sekin on silleen aika epä. Jos tosi paljon vettä ja halutaan myös toinen pilssipumppu, niin sitten tää laitetaan kiinni. Ja tää avataan.
Okay.
Ja sitten tää laitetaan päälle.
Pro-kikka laittaa.
Yeah, I heard it from some navy or / fisherman person.
Ihan sopivan näköinen näyttäisi oleva. Noniin. Noniin. Sitten on.
Okei, se oli tosi hyvä.
Ai, nyt lähdetään menemään. Kyllä tää on hyvä tää ennuste.
So we will be going here between the mainland and the ice in this shallow or narrow and shallow channel, and then I don't know, this is like a few hundred miles of distance here. You might not be an expert in reading ice charts, so here's some satellite imagery that shows the sea ice on this day as we are leaving, showing our planned route in red. We are setting sail from the northernmost point of the United States, hoping to get through the sea ice towards east. We'll try to reach the Qiqiktaruk island in Yukon, Canada. We have a great interest in this place, not only because we've heard that there is a great sauna there. The leg is around 400 nautical miles and should take us 4 to 5 days to complete. This here is just one small part of our attempt to sail through the Northwest Passage from Alaska to Greenland, and we are just now starting to get into the icy and most critical sections of the trip. Saatko jotain kommentteja vielä?
No ei mitään, kohta laittaa moottori käyntiin ja kaasu pohjaa.
We've been sitting at the anchorage now for 5-6 days and you certainly can notice it. Okei, ootko saanut levätä tarpeeksi nyt?
On liikaa ylilevossa.
Okei, ylikunnossa.
Joo.
No niin.
Noniin.
Okei, vaan irti.
So we are underway now, and today we will be dodging some ice for sure. But first we are gonna be eating breakfast. So all of these radar returns here are big chunks of ice. So we are just weaving our way through. At this point I have to say thank you to Raymarine for our electronics package. The Quantum 2 radar is working really well for us. The funny thing is we don't have them on AIS anymore, but I saw them earlier. There is the Canadian icebreaker is coming to get a big fishing trawler that's anchored just outside of Point Barrow where we left from, and they are going to escort the trawler into Canada. We unfortunately are not getting an icebreaker escort. We are a little bit hesitant because we do see that there is some ice out on the ocean. It's in the ice charts, and we can also see this phenomenon called the ice sky, and it's this thin white band of what looks like a white cloud or fog just above the horizon, but it's actually the light reflecting off of the ice. The ice charts also are saying that the ice should move closer inshore during the next 24 hours. They call for 3 miles of movement, which is really not that much, but well, we are gonna be between the ice and the shore, and that's maybe not the best place to be. These drone shots are probably better at showing you what I mean. Although we are in this narrow strip of ice-free water, there's land on our starboard side and a substantial amount of sea ice on our port side. If these ice floes start moving due to wind or current, then they will bunch up and things could get dangerous for us very quickly. Maybe that is why our friends on the sailing vessel Kesera, who accompanied us in the previous video to the lagoon in Utqiagvik, chose to stay behind and wait for a few more days. We are now the first boat heading this way this season, with most of the others being several hundred miles behind us. Sailing the Northwest Passage is a delicate balancing act. There is usually a 6 to 8 week window to try and get through before the autumn storms start and the sea starts freezing again. Waiting can be good, but it is hard to pass a good weather window. My scouting flights with the drone show that the opening between the land and the ice seems to continue, so we press onwards. We have left the Genoa partly furled, so when you are standing back there you can see under the Genoa and you can look for the ice a little bit better. So we're gonna rotate the whole crew actively depending on whether there's gonna be fog or not. If there's fog, then we're gonna have 2 persons. If there's no fog, then 1 person is probably enough. So yeah, exciting times, but I feel like we have a reasonably or a really good chance to get through, and even if we don't, we just have to escape and back up early enough. I don't want to head into ice if I don't know for sure that I'll be able to get through, because that's really sketchy. Meriveden lämpötila 0,6 astetta.
Mut jää tuolla näkyy jäätä.
Hengitys myös höyrää. Wow, täällä hylje ajelemassa vaan jääkenttien läpi.
Näin saakeli aika läheltä meni toi lukko.
Nyt joudutaan ehkä ihan hommiin. Kind of like dodging rocks, ice like this, it's really hard. It's not soft at all. If you hit it, it's like hitting a rock. You see the muddy water here?
Yeah.
That's from the river.
Aha, okay.
That's why there's no ice. Like, there's no ice on our starboard side. The river is pushing out some current there, and muddy water, and probably keeping most of the ice away. For 2 days we dodged smaller ice floes while keeping the dense ice to our port side. The weather was easy on us, but keeping a close watch was still quite tiring for the whole crew. On the second night we enjoyed a beautiful sunset, but then the ice started getting thicker. It looked like we'd either have to try and sail through the band of ice or seek cover behind a sandbank.
Aurinko tulee.
Ai aurinko!
Kyllä sieltä tulee, saatana.
I have to fly the drone and try to find a way forward. We need to get through this band of ice here out into the open sea, unless otherwise we're gonna get blocked in here inside these barrier islands. But if you look left to our port side and where we want to go, there is this band. We hope there's an opening there. This kind of a situation with the ice might seem quite benign, and it'll keep that way as long as you've been reading the ice and the weather correctly, and maybe you also need a hint of luck on top. But if there's any issues with the weather, ice or the boat, then things can go wrong very quickly. We had done a lot of planning, and we probably had some luck on our side as well, because we always found a relatively open lane through the ice. This scene, along with a few carefully selected others, is now available for a limited time as a beautiful aluminum print. I will have this limited time print run available until the end of January 2025. These prints are high quality, durable aluminum panels ready to hang on your wall. Depending on your location, you might still be able to receive them before Christmas. Because I'm not really a marketing genius, I did not manage to release these prints in time for the holiday buying frenzy, but if you do end up buying a print, it will in any case be a great gift to someone. Namely, it'll be a great gift to me, and buying a print is also a great one-off way to support the creation of these videos. These photos are not the only ones that are available. There are a couple other ones on the website as well, so check those out. And I of course chose these photos out of the ones that I took during the Northwest Passage. So not all of the scenes are in the videos yet, because the videos are lagging a couple months behind. So yes, spoiler alert, we are still alive. Anyway, the ink on these prints is bonded directly onto the aluminum surface, and these are really beautiful and the colors really pop off well. And like I said, this is a limited time print run, only available until the end of January 2025, so go and check them out. There is a link down below in the description as well. Let's continue with the video. Tää on vähän niinku Suomen saaristossa kiviä väistelis.
Niin on vähän on vaan väylämerkkejä enemmän tässä. Tää on aika tiukka joku Helsingin edustan paikka. Täytyy sanoa, että aika paljon rakkautta annoin näille beibeille. Noin. Mitä piirtää.
Kiitos.
Ole hyvä, ole hyvä.
Kokki.
Tätä on kyllä täällä hiottu.
Hyvän näköinen. Tekee burgeri. Onks hyvä, Sofi?
No on kyllä tosi hyvää.
No hyvä.
Täällä on aika hyvää palvelua.
The good thing about the ice being so close is that there is no swell because the ice dampens the swell, so it's absolutely flat water, really good for cooking. Nam nam.
It's very good.
Jihuli! So these here are the barrier islands going across here, and we expect that this band of ice exists just here, and then once we get just a mile that way we should be able to get through, and then we'll be in like relatively open water again. But it's really cool. This ice is really cool. All of this here is actually sea ice, so even though it looks like icebergs, it's not from the glaciers, it's sea ice that has just grown very thick, and then when the ice moves it has piled up and created these like larger kind of like chunks. This is all first year ice, so it's just 1 year old. It's from the previous winter. Mitäs perkulle, saako täällä lunta?
Jäävuoret vaihtu räntään.
Nyt sataa muuten enemmän tätä lunta.
Nyt sataa enemmän lunta. Tää on ihan luntakin jo.
Lunta vaan sataa, mutta ei oo kylmä.
Niin. Vähän poleen.
Now we're gonna go to the sauna.
Mennäänkö saman tien sitten sauna, kun päästään sitten perille?
Mennään. Sophie's new favorite pool on board. The drill pump. Here we have a bit of a situation here inside the boat. We are accumulating water in the bilge. We are getting around 30 liters of water per, I don't know, it's just half a day of motoring. I think our exhaust muffler might be leaking. We're not really sure. But it's leaking into our side bilge where we don't have a bilge pump really, unless it gets very full and overflows into the main bilge. But yeah, we need to empty it every now and then now. It's actually quite a lot of water for such a short time.
Kuulemma spinnu pitäisi laittaa. Mennään kattoo mitä se seriffi siellä puuhaa.
Hoisting this thing for the first time maybe ever.
Ooh.
We've never hoisted it before, and I just realized I took it. It's been in the bag, and because it's an old boat, I always thought that it's a symmetric spinnaker because I don't know. I just thought it's gonna be a symmetric spinnaker. It has a sock, so on. But now I took it out of the bag, and it has a separate pack and clue. So that means it's probably an asymmetric or it might be a code 0 or something. We don't even know what it is. Ihan tämmönen väliaikainen ratkaisu vaan. Mikä purje tää edes on? Okei, kuidu valmiina. Mitä meinaat, mitä käy?
Hyvin käy.
Okei, paljon annat prosenttia onnistumisprosenttia kuuttiin?
85.
85% onnistumiselle paljon kuidu.
87.
I think it looks a little bit tangled inside the bag, but I still give it 80% chance of success.
Okay.
80?
Okay,
Yeah.
Joo.
Miten se avautuu?
Joo. Kuida nyt lähtee. Oi! Onko kapteeni tyytyväinen?
On kyllä tyytyväinen. Kyllä se lentää. We got our mystery sail hoisted and flying for the last few puffs of the wind. It accomplished its main job, to look good so that we could get the mandatory photos and videos. After an hour of fun, the wind died down and we were back to motoring towards the sauna. Onks toi se sauna? Pauline Cove Rangers. This is sailing vessel Lumi. Sailing vessel Lumi on channel 69.
Good afternoon, this is Ursula Park. Go ahead.
We are anchored here right in front of the buildings, and we were wondering about the possibility of coming ashore.
Saying that you said you got cleared when this morning?
Yesterday night when we came in, we called the customs.
Okay, as long as you got clearings, then yeah, you could have come ashore.
Okay, great, thank you. I do have one more question as well, and that's an important one for us because we are from Finland and we have heard that there is a sauna on the island. Is it anyway possible to get to use that somehow?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that as long as you got to cut your own weight and everything like that.
Mikä? Yeah, we can cut the wood and so on, of course. Yeah, we'll be ready to do anything for the sauna. So, okay, great. Qiqiktaruk, which simply means an island in Inuvialuktun, was once inhabited by the Thule people, the ancestors of the present-day Inuvialuit. Taitaa olla sauna. I think that's the sauna there. Nowadays there are no permanent residents, but the island is still important hunting and fishing grounds. During the late 19th century whaling period, the Westerners came in with their whaling fleet and established a settlement in the same cove that we are in now. Because of its remoteness, this was one of the last places where bowhead populations hadn't yet been depleted by overhunting. But because this location is so far from everything, the whaling fleet had to also overwinter in this cove, and also here whaling quickly became unprofitable. That's some obvious signs of coastal erosion right here. You can see how the sea is just eating away this tundra. It's supposed to be permafrost under there, but when it melts, then the sea just carves away all the ground. That here is obvious erosion as well. You see these mudslides. It doesn't have to be steep at all before it just starts sliding down when it gets wet. One thing that happens with these permafrost areas is that when everything starts melting, there's still permafrost under the ground, and that blocks the water from exiting, so the water can't seep through the ground, and that's why everything gets just so super wet and muddy so quickly. And the water kind of pulls up, and you get these ponds of fresh water. Qiqiktaruk is a special place because its ecological parameters have been monitored and researched for a long time. If you look behind Lumi, you'll see multiple fresh landslides. Last summer, rising temperatures melting the permafrost led to a sudden event causing over 700 landslides like this in a span of just 2 weeks. The effects of climate change here are enormous and easily seen. Some areas that had been studied for decades have now slid into the sea. Also, most of the historical buildings that you see in the cove would now be underwater had they not been moved to the higher ground. Kuutti mikä täällä?
Ihan kuin Suomen Lapissa.
These are really big. Really big. Bigger than in Finland. Sohvi noin rakastaa sua.
No, jep, mä tiedän.
Okay, now we go for the sauna.
Hei, mennäänkö tänne vasemmalle?
Lumi is waiting there. Sauna is here. This is just really incredible. Like, so cool. This is so cool. Okay, let's do a sauna tour. This is almost completely new. The previous one burned down last year. Whoa.
Ei oo suomalaista kiuasta vaan.
Small minus points for the stove. I mean, it's not really a sauna stove, but whatever.
Laitapa Seppä tulee.
No niin, siitä lähtee Seppä laittaa. Mä en tiedä, oliko se saunamasteri täällä. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I think it's allowed.
I think it's fine. You have to use, we use fresh water, of course. If you use salt water, it's gonna We can corrode the whole thing. Siellä näkyy lumiparkissa. On tää aika viileet.
Ja meikä on aina, joka ei uskalla.
Kippis.
Kippis. Kolmantosakar.
Ei ole vielä puolimatkassa, mutta aika pitkällä kuitenkin. Kippislumi. Thank you so much for watching and remember the limited print run. The aluminum prints are only available until end of January. Go and check them out and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.